Oh, hi.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Just went right in.
I forgot to take the picture.
Oh my gosh. He was like, I need your mic check. And then all of a sudden he was recording.
Yep.
He's pouring some more weekend water over there.
That's how it goes. Well, I had a glass with dinner. Now I'm having a glass to loosen up.
Oh my God. I didn't have any with dinner. So this is, I'm starting off real tight. Real tight. Real stiff.
Yeah, that's you.
It's real uptight. Just real buttoned up. Real buttoned up. This is hard. I'm having to vamp while he's taking
You can just talk.
You're off mic. It's like I don't know. All right. Well,
I'm back.
He's back and he's bad, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm back and I'm bad at podcasting. Welcome to Stayfhomekins. We're the Homekins, and so are you, by the way.
We're all Homekins.
We've decided that's what our listeners are called.
We're all in it together.
We're all in it together.
You're the little cute Homekinses.
We just decided on a name as it's time to stop doing the podcast.
Well, we don't know when we're having like an ongoing existential crisis about
podcast.
What do we do?
Podcastually speaking.
Yeah, like what do we do? Do we keep? Well, I mean, we're still stuck at home at this juncture.
Record scratch. Let's start at the beginning.
I'm Janie Haddad Tompkins.
I'm Paul F. Tompkins.
He's a comedian.
She's an actress.
We are a married couple in quarantine together with recording equipment in Los Angeles. This is a pandemical podcast. Welcome to the party. Pull up a seat. Pour yourself a weekend water, whatever that is. It can be anything.
It doesn't have to be alcohol. It could be juice. Juice.
It could be juice.
Remember David Schwimmer?
Remember the Schwimmer from the O.J. Simpson juice. Remember the montage they made of every time he said juice? And
I don't, but I would watch it again.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah. I do remember that now.
Look it up, guys. Look it up. If you haven't seen the Ryan Murphy American Crime Story anthology show about the O.J. Simpson trial. By the way, it's awesome. You should watch it.
It's great. Yeah.
David Schwimmer plays the lawyer Kardashian. I forgot it.
Robert Kardashian.
Okay.
The lawyer Kardashian.
I didn't remember his first name. I didn't remember his first name.
And you just made a big peefee.
A big what?
You saw that video, the hologram that Kanye West gave Kim Kardashian of her dead father.
Oh, you mean the like $200,000 one that he gave her right before they got the divorce?
Yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh. I mean, I didn't see it. I'm kind of vaguely aware of Kardashianism.
Kardashiana.
Yeah. How can
As
you
am I.
escape it?
Yeah.
How can you escape it?
I really only see it if someone puts it right in front of me. It's not something that I seek out.
And boy, do they put it in front of you. I mean, they just do.
I mean, they're trying to break the internet every other second. I'm trying to use the internet, thank you. Maybe don't try to break it.
What about the hologram?
In the hologram, he uses this word peefee, which I guess is a cute little family slang for a bodily activity.
That's private, and it should have stayed so.
You know what it is?
Is there anything private in their lives? I'm just curious.
Is nothing sacred?
I'm just saying, like,
even peefies are on display?
Like, I'm working on boundaries at this juncture in my young life, and it has been eye-opening.
This is a good time for you to do it at this stage.
You know what? I wish I had done it, like 5 years ago when I was like 18 and stuff. But like, basically, I only kind of started having to do it when I got this age, though, because my bandwidth didn't shrink up until recently.
Right.
Like, and then I was like, what the fuck is everyone doing coming at me all the time with this? And I was like, oh, I'm the one with the neon sign saying open for business, vacancies. This is on me. This is on me. This is not on others.
It is not the fault of others or the lives of others. It's your life.
That's one of my favorite films.
It's a great film.
Highly recommend if you haven't seen it.
Recommendation so early in the show. Can you imagine?
It's about the Stasi. Isn't that what it's called? Or is it this?
The Stasi, yeah. Stasi, I think.
Stasi.
Stasi.
I got to revisit that movie because I fucking loved it so much when we saw it in the theater. I was like, this shit is good. Okay? Like in terms of movies.
Janie she was enjoying the movie so much, she was walking up and down the aisle of the movie theater. She's folding her arms, shaking her head, and saying, this shit is good.
That would not happen because then I wouldn't be able to read the subtitles of the movie.
You were walking backwards.
Yes,
up the aisle.
In a U shape.
Yes.
And then I scooted behind the last row backwards, and then I scooted back down the other side.
That's right. It was quite a spectacle.
Wait, then I pivoted. I didn't scoot backwards.
Pivot. Another David Schwimmer.
And then I was able to walk toward. I don't understand the layout of this theater, but just go with us.
I lost track, and then I checked out.
Pivot. I'm sure I talked about this, how I was a background artist on the set of the hit sitcom Friends.
In the final years.
The last 2 years.
When it was, they were making
so much fucking money.
$15 million an episode.
I've already talked about this because I talked about the sushi and how Courtney Cox flew in the Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't a Chick-fil-A in Los Angeles at that time.
That's right.
And she had to have her Southern shit.
And there were no gay characters on Friends.
There weren't? I never watched Friends.
No, not the six, not the core six.
Not the core. Oh, wait. He had an ex-wife, though, that was gay. The lesbian ex-wife.
That's right. That's right. And everyone thought Chandler was gay.
Chandler was Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
I never watched the show, y'all. I mean, I watched it being made. Does that make sense?
So you saw it in a way that other people...
I loved it because I didn't like making background artists money. So don't get that in your head.
If that's what you were thinking.
If that's what you were thinking, you know. However, I loved the experience of learning how a multicam sitcom set operated. Because I was here to work in television, and for me, it was like a masterclass that they paid me not much for. When I first got to Los Angeles, did I tell this on this? Good. But this is part of the podcast, guys. We repeat things.
We try not to. We try not to. I'm sure it's frustrating for people listening. The more episodes
we're getting, though, it's like harder to keep track of what we've said.
Well, we could stop right now.
Paul wants to end the podcast.
No, not end the podcast. Here's the thing. I like doing the podcast, but I think it definitely will be harder to do. Let's just talk about it. It will be harder to do on a weekly basis because we will be, once our lives resume in a way that is close to what they used to be.
Hopefully that will become like a reality that we will start being able to gather and do places.
Duplicate places.
Meet the Duplass brothers. I'd like to meet the Duplass brothers. That's a whole other story.
I met
one. I met one at a party.
Mm-hmm. You met Jay.
Yeah, he was
nailed it.
He was very into you.
He's very into me.
I'm just saying, like, if we go, like, our lives before this pandemic are nothing like this. Like, if we were home on a Friday night, it would be because we were really tired and we needed to recharge.
Hold on.
You don't think that's true? He's looking at me with skepticism.
Look, we did. I would say right before the pandemic, we were still homebodies, but there were more opportunities to do things. Like, we would go out to dinner with people. We would get invited to this or that, you know. And sometimes, yes, there would be work that would keep you out all day and night. But
like, I was just saying right before this, like, oh, this is exciting. Our internet went out.
Well, we made it go out.
I don't know how we made it go out.
We rebooted the thing.
But we had to reboot it because it went out.
It went out on one device.
No, it went out on every device. I wasn't getting it on my phone.
But when did that happen? That happened after the reboot.
I don't think so.
This cannot be interesting to people.
All right, it doesn't matter. Because I spent 40 minutes on the phone with AT&T, and it's fine. My point is this. I texted the neighbors, hey, is your internet out? It wasn't.
Wait.
But we had a conversation about the internet, and then we're eating our dinner, and I was like, God, in normal times, I was just saying in normal times, we would just be like, we have all this spaghetti, come over here.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Do you think it was crucial that people knew the internet went out first?
Continue with your side of things.
With my side. This is like a Rashomon.
It should always be a Rashomon.
Yeah, it always is, girlfriend.
Listen, if my side of things were like your side of things, I'd be the one booking the comedy clubs.
Hey,
do you know what I'm saying?
Two sides. There's three sides of every story. My side, your side, and the truth side. My side, your side,
4 sides.
And the far side.
I thought it was 4 sides.
What's the what?
The truth and something and what really happened or something like that.
Well, no, the truth takes care of that.
By the way, that saying is fucking stupid, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
And don't say it.
Don't say it, guys. You've been warned.
Here's the
Cancel
truth.
culture takes another victim. That expression.
I saw a good tweet this week about.
Congrats.
Jesus Christ.
I'm jealous.
If we don't get out of this house, it's been a year. It's been a year that we've been home.
Yes. What was the tweet that you saw?
With one another. Something about, there were 2. One guy, someone tweeted something about, some guy yelled at me for being a coward for wearing a mask, and he has to carry a gun to church or something like that. That was one. And then the other one was, because, we're in the middle of the culture wars, right? Culture wars.
First came the cola wars.
Then
the late night wars. Now we're in the culture wars.
And someone said, the same people complaining. I'm sure this is viral. Like everyone's seen this one. The same people complaining about culture, cancel culture, are the same people who raised hell over football, kneeling at football games. God, there were like 3 other things.
Yeah.
So there were like 3 other cancel culture things.
Yes.
So anyway, the culture wars. Here we are.
So anyway, the culture wars.
Yeah, we're in the middle of this culture war.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, we have been, but it's now that liberals are in charge again, then conservatives have to make it all about the culture war and the deficit, which nobody actually gives a shit about.
Because it's like a magical unicorn.
Yes. Imagine if like other countries showed up on our doorstep and were like, you owe us a great deal of money.
Hey, they talked about canceling some student debt. Maybe some other countries would cancel some of our debt.
I wonder who we still owe money to. But the deficit, of course, is, I want people to know that I understand it's not money that we owe to other nations. It's the fake money that we print up and then we say, we don't have enough.
I don't understand the deficit and I don't care to. Please don't tweet me anything about the deficit.
I don't
want to know anything.
Yeah, we make up a fucking budget and then we go past it and then we're like, oh no.
My understanding it's like how much we all owe.
Like it's our fault?
Everything's our fault.
I will not.
COVID's our fault.
I will
Did you know
not
that?
take responsibility. I'm no bat.
Everything's our fault. That's the new name of the game.
Well, that's definitely what's happening in LA with the vaccine rollout, is that they make us blame each other.
Yeah. We're in the middle of a Hunger Games sequel right now. Right now with the vaccine.
Cool, really.
With the vaccine. By the way, Biden came on TV. He was like, you got to get it. Just go get it. Whatever.
Folks,
I think the culture war thing is so stupid right now because the whole theme of the government has now shifted to like, it's time to we got to simmer down, simmer down, simmer down.
Okay. You're bringing that back?
Where did it come from?
That was Sherry O'Terry on Saturday Night Live.
Simmer down.
Simmer down now. That was all that character did. It was tell people they had to simmer down.
Simmer down. You know, that could have been Biden's campaign slogan.
Sure.
Simmer down.
He could have had her introduce him at rallies and stuff.
What's her leanings? Do we know? She's not like Victoria. What's her name?
Oh, Victoria Jackson. That's right. Who became a cuckoo Christian cuckoo.
I mean, she was all Trump-a-dump.
She was all Trump-a-dump. She went way over.
You know.
Like she saw Dennis Miller and said, I'm going further than that.
Dennis Miller, he went Trump.
He went conservative after 9/11.
Oh, that's right. 9/11. He had a 9/11 conversion.
Yes. Yeah. He had a 9/11 conversion.
I don't understand that. 9/11, that was supposed to be, we were all apolitical after that. That was the whole thing. That we all went apolitical.
I think it started when, I think I remember reading an interview with him where he said it started when people were comparing Rudy Giuliani to a Nazi, like when he was mayor. Pre 9/11, and he didn't think that was right. And it's like I'm changing my beliefs.
Isn't that a funny thing? Because of how Rudy Giuliani ended up playing into our national nightmare.
You thought he seemed like a Nazi before, but I love the idea of like I saw people being mean to this one guy, so I was like, I'm changing my whole worldview, and now I'm like that guy that everyone was mean to.
I kind of get the changing the worldview. I get. Maybe not on that, like being someone mean to them or whatever, but like I went through a lot of disillusionment this week in particular, like a lot, and it's more on a local government level right now, where I'm focusing my frustration because of things that are happening. If you read the LA Times, and I might have to cancel, I'm not canceling that subscription until I get a vaccine.
Now we're talking cancel culture.
But I don't, like the LA Times is covering every base. Like they are not letting one narrative drive the train.
To the detriment of?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They're like all up Newsom's butt or all over Newsom's shit.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Did you like my analogies?
Really good.
I don't know. Paul's leaving. I don't know if he's going to come back. I hope. Thank you for doing it in another area.
Oh, cool. We got to keep the magic alive.
Now we're starting that because this year we had
magic back to life.
I don't know how many of you out there are holed up with your significant other this whole time.
We did pretty good, I think.
We got through it.
Yeah, well, it's challenging for everybody. You know what I mean?
It's not even over yet, by the way.
I know. I think we've done pretty well, I got to say.
I think we've done really well, but I also think this was not in the manual.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying. When you're like for richer, for poorer, for better, for worse, whatever. No one's saying like, what if you have to be stuck in your home together for a year?
That I would have laughed. I would have been like, that's crazy.
I would have laughed in the face of that person.
I would have been like, what do you mean? Like a worldwide pandemic?
I'm like, what? That's not in our vows. Get out of here.
I thought it was like we were just like being in shitty moods or we get cancer. I didn't know.
Somebody gets laid off or something. Yeah.
Or like, oh, I've got like, a neurological disease or whatever.
Okay. Let's not name the horrible things.
I didn't know it was like.
I felt like we were starting down a bad road.
It's like,
making me uncomfortable.
Paul doesn't like when I talk about death, which I do like a lot.
What do I do? I'm not aware of this situation.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like this is such a recurring theme when I'll be like, okay, when I die, I want you to blah, blah, blah. or like.
I think it's more
And
like
then
you
you're
talk
like,
about me
oh.
dying before you, and maybe that's what I don't like about it.
No, it's me. Because I'll be like, I don't care if I die because it's been pretty good, you know.
Oh, this is different though. This is not just when you talk about death. This is when you decide like, I think like at 70, that's enough.
Well, yeah, that is a good run. 70.
It's not. Yeah, but I'm saying you could go further than that.
Does not like when I say that. He's like, stop.
Because it makes it sound like you're planning something.
Maybe I am. Is Dr. Kevorkian still alive?
I don't think so.
He's not?
No, I don't think so.
I didn't watch Kevorkian on HBO.
He was crushed by his own machine.
Oh, it's a machine? No. I thought it was just like pills. By the way, it's insane that euthanasia is like some kind of legal situation. Mm-hmm. Like, shouldn't you just be like, yeah, I want my friend to morphine me out. I've got a terminal illness.
Yes, I think that obviously I think that there are extreme cases that you have to guard against, but you definitely know when somebody else making that decision.
Right, like that Jeremy Irons movie with Glenn Close.
You have no idea.
Klaus von Bülow.
I've never seen that movie. I've only seen the commercial.
God, that should be our watch along.
Maybe we should do
our watch along.
Do you know what? I may have seen it when it came out, and I haven't seen it since then.
I think it's like good.
I'm sure it's a quality movie. Is it a Barbette Schroeder?
Who?
The director.
Gesundheit. Sorry. I was a little late.
I'll allow it. I think it's fine.
Okay.
We can edit out the pause.
Okay.
So it seems like it comes right at the top.
Sure. Good thinking.
Maybe we should do that.
I think that was it's called, what's it called?
Reversal of Fortune.
Reversal of Fortune.
Let me give him that Jeremy Irons one more time. You have no idea.
Oh my God, they should do a remake. You should murder me.
And your Sonny von Bülow, doesn't she narrates it from her coma or something?
How do you know that?
Klaus, you've done it again.
I don't remember that part.
I could be entirely wrong, but I can't imagine they got Glenn Close to just lie in a bed.
It's like a true story.
Yeah.
Also, Alan Dershowitz.
Dersh. Do you know I had to fire him as our lawyer?
You fired him?
Yeah.
We need him.
It was an executive decision. It just seemed like
that's fine.
The heat was on.
Well, we'll get someone else to handle lowering the age of consent. Legally.
Which is we were fighting for.
Yeah, that suit we located where we could take it all the way to lower the age of consent. Right. That's like his whole thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's his whole thing. By the way,
it's his own that.
He's like in everything. I mean, he's in the he figures into the Ryan Murphy OJ. He was part of the OJ stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He was part of the Dream Team.
Who played him in that? It was, what's his name? Evan Handler.
Yes, Evan Handler.
Yes. Ron Silver plays him in Reversal of Fortune.
We follow one another on Twitter, me and Evan Handler. I don't know if he finds my tweets amusing. It's fine. He might not even still follow me.
You never know, man.
Maybe he's blocked me.
I think about the people that I got excited that followed me, and then I realized they probably regret this. They probably saw one funny thing. Sam Neill follows you. Sam Neill probably saw a funny thing that I tweeted and then has muted me.
My excitement over being followed, my big excitement is Josh Mankiewicz.
Because
I love Dateline. We're going to have dinner post-pandemic.
We were telling our friend David Reese about this. Yes.
Yes. We saw a friend this week.
Yeah, which was really nice.
In the backyard from a distance.
God was watching us, and we had a lovely visit.
He was one of us.
Yeah.
That's the different song. From a distance, and if God was one of us. I conflated them.
That's right.
Hey.
He was the wind beneath our wings.
We're feeling a little bit more optimism this week.
Yes.
A couple things have happened. I mean, there have been some announcements about the vaccination
gender
stuff.
Reveals. Oh. We've gotten a couple great gender reveals.
I watched the Biden address, which I found to be very optimistic. Mm-hmm. Although right before he started, I was like, he put a lot of conditions on whether we're going to be back.
Ifs. Yeah.
If we do this, if the virus doesn't do this, if,
If we're not a nation of lunatics, everything's going to be great. Uh-oh. Bad news.
I was just like, and he was saying July 4th is our target. He thinks we can like have a barbecue together.
Is he saying that will be our Independence Day?
Independence Day. You know, let freedom ring.
Let the white doves sing. What were you singing over there?
I forgot some of the words.
White ball. Wait, let's talk. Okay, well, why don't we take a break and then we'll come back.
Is it time?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's close enough.
Okay. Got some new we got a new sponsor this week.
New sponsor this week.
You'll love it, guys.
Guys.
Specifically guys. It's only for guys.
Sesson. All right, we'll be right back. Green Chef. Yeah, Green Chef is back, baby. Thanks for sponsoring our show. What's Green Chef? Well, I'll tell you. It is the first USDA-certified organic meal kit company. Enjoy clean ingredients you can trust, seasonally sourced for peak freshness. Green Chef is the most sustainable meal kit, offsetting 100% of its direct carbon emissions and plastic packaging in every box, so you can feel great about what you're eating and how it got to your table. Let me tell you, in our personal household, we love Green Chef. We've ordered it so many times over the past year, and this past year has been something else. So there's many times where Green Chef has saved our sanity and made things so simple and so delicious. We've enjoyed everything we've tried from Green Chef. And as you may or may not know, HelloFresh owns Green Chef. We have ordered from HelloFresh. We like switching back and forth between them. They're all great. And it makes things so easy and so delicious. Highly recommended by me personally. Here is a call to action. Go to greenchef.com/90homekins and use code 90homekins, that's 90HOMEKINS, to get $90 off, including free shipping. That is greenchef.com/90homekins. Use code 90homekins to get $90 off, including free shipping. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well.
We are so excited to be sponsored by Blue Chew. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. Blue Chew's tablets combat all forms of ED and can help men gain extra confidence when it's time to perform. Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so no going to the doctor, no awkward talks, no waiting in line, and it's shipped to you in a discreet package. It's simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And the best part, it's all online. Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient and strength for your prescription. Blue Chew's sildenafil and tadalafil are chewable, so you don't even have to swallow pills. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA, and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than a pharmacy. So if you could benefit from this amazing product, it's time to go to BlueChew.com, and we got a special deal. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code HOMEKINS at checkout, and all you have to do is pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code HOMEKINS to get your first month free. Thanks, Blue Chew.
Cuckoo.
I wasn't even back yet.
I know, but I wanted people to hear Cuckoo. She's been creeping in during the breaks.
Cuckoo's creeping in during the break.
Cuckoo, are you getting microphone shy?
Cuckoo. All
right. So let's talk about the future of the podcast because we don't have any immediate. It's not like we have any immediate plans, but.
And by the way, I've sold ads throughout the rest of this year.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work, but
I was like, yeah, we can do that in December.
Luckily, we're not getting paid, so it's all the same when we stop doing it.
Supposedly we will. Yeah, okay.
But I think we could do this once a month.
You don't think every other week?
No, I don't. I think every other week would be very hard to stick to. But I think once a month
and a watch along.
Yeah, we can do watch-alongs too.
Once a month and a watch-along.
Every month? A watch-along a month?
We might have to put some of those ads up front on the watch-along.
No. Watch-along
that we sold.
No. That's weird. Watch-along would be a separate thing. But I don't think once a month. Well, what do you think about that? I think once a month.
I have to think about it because I also feel like how long is it going to take until the button is pressed and we're full tilt? Societally.
We need to be that P for the FT.
What?
Need to push that button.
For the full tilt?
For the full tilt. The button's got to be pushed.
Push for the full tilt.
Push for full tilt. I think I know what you're trying to say to me. But Janie gave me a series of hand signals. Were you trying to say make that the episode title? Push.
Why did you tell? Why did you? Well, I thought we were trying to get.
Because they've already seen it by this point.
We're trying to get the magic back. I thought we were trying to get the magic back.
Honey, we're trying to get our personal magic back, not the on mic magic. That's never been a problem. Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Push for full tilt.
You said P for the F to the T. Whatever you said. I'm just saying, like, he's saying July 4th we could have, like, these small gatherings, but I saw a graph on the internet.
Oh, no.
That said all of America can't get to the full herd until end of August.
Full herd. Right now, we're separated from the herd. We're like wandering around like idiots.
Right now, the herd, and by the way, they're like opening indoor dining here on Monday, and they're opening Disneyland, and they're opening, what's it called? Movie theaters. Sorry, madness. I have the hiccups now. Sorry.
Are they limiting?
There goes the magic.
This is what you came for.
They're limiting, like 25% capacity, which doesn't make sense because only 10% of the population is vaccinated.
25% capacity for what? Everything? Movie theaters?
They all vary. Like,
have you ever gotten hiccups on stage?
No.
I haven't either, but I sneezed once on stage and it was weird.
When?
It was a Thrilling Adventure Hour show. And I was in the middle of, I don't think I had dialogue at the time, but I had to turn away and sneeze. It had never happened to me on stage because usually it's like everything your body kind of goes into a stasis.
Sure.
And you do the thing.
There's an adrenaline that kicks in.
But it was very weird to me. It was such a strange experience.
You just have to acknowledge it according to Stanislavski.
Well, guess what, Stan? I didn't. By the way, Stanislavski, I wrote you a letter.
By the way, Stan the man. By the way, Stan the man,
Stanislavski.
By the way, I studied like quote unquote Stanislavski, which is like such a like generic term for acting study because he started at one place at the beginning of his career and ended at another. So like it runs so if you're like, oh, I studied Stanislavski, it's like, well, what?
Right.
You know,
right.
It's just, I guess it's like, you know, I guess he like informed a lot of different types of study.
Do his teachings go up to a certain point and then he deviates from them after that?
He doesn't like deviate. It's more like he like evolves. Like he develops a process.
Right.
That is not the same as the beginning.
So if somebody were to take Stanislavski now, would they be getting the benefit of the entire journey?
I think it's all bullshit in a way because, and funny that you're talking about this because I was just talking about acting classes with Joel today because he was like,
you just brought it up.
I guess you're right. Maybe it was on my mind.
What a strange coincidence.
We were talking about all these acting classes, and I was like, oh. Because then I was like, oh, I've been through so many fucking acting classes, like some seriously fucked up acting classes, you know, like whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I think like if you were to study Stanislavski today, they would just cherry pick the most popular and mainstream applications to acting. I don't think you would start.
Most of it is think of a sad thing to cry, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's more like, I guess, like, it's all, I'm probably going to mess this up, but from my understanding of it, it's very text-based. Like, it's all, like, through the text. Like, the text is the thing, and, like, you find everything you play through the text, and like, the circles of concentration, and blah, 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 blah.
So what's Meisner then?
I don't know. I never really did Meisner stuff. I don't know. I don't know.
What is the technique that makes people say, call me by the character's name?
Method acting.
That's method acting. Okay.
That's more Stanislavski based.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think it but also like there was an embracing of technique too. It doesn't have to be, you know.
Yeah.
I'm messing this up. I, by the way, I have a master's and I should be able to teach this shit.
Yeah.
But I would just make up my own approach because
why wouldn't you?
Because I've had like a spectrum of things that I've been exposed to, right?
Yeah.
So I would just say this is cool or this is cool. Anyway, I'm reading Cicely Tyson's memoir right now. I think I mentioned it.
I would go up to the blackboard and I'd put a big thick white line down the middle, right? Mm-hmm. Then on the left side, I would write cool. And on the right side, I would write uncool.
Okay.
And then I would list the things that are cool and uncool.
Okay. What
and
are cool?
I would say, cool, acting good.
Okay. What's uncool?
Acting bad. Those would be at the top.
The best acting class I've ever was in New York after all my training in drama school.
Who was that teacher again?
Joan Rosenfeld.
Joan Rosenfeld.
And I love her so much. Like, I loved her class so much. It was so perfect to the way, like, I think about acting. Like, it was very emotional, very emotion-based.
Was that the one that John Hodgman took as well?
Yes, and John Hodgman took it with me. Mm-hmm. We took it together. He didn't stay in it, though. I think I took it a lot longer than he did. I was kind of like, I was all in.
Well, he was also new to acting at that time.
He was new to acting.
And he was trying things out.
And he didn't have a process.
Right.
He didn't have a process.
Much like myself.
But I think it's so stupid in a weird way to say you don't have a process because, you know, you get to a place. You just get to a place. Like, you have a way to get to a place.
Well, you know, it's funny because I am going through some serious, weird self-doubt right now because I'm digitizing all these old tapes, old VHS tapes that I've been carting around for decades, right? And so there's old stand-up stuff, which is like, I cannot watch it with the sound on.
Really?
Yeah.
Like how old?
Oh my God, I started in the 80s.
So like from the 80s.
This is stuff from the late 80s, early 90s.
Did you find anything that wouldn't fly in today's culture?
There were 2 full blackface performances.
Jesus Christ. Rape jokes.
Tons.
Yeah.
No, nothing like that, but I didn't like watch any sets in full because I would like just kind of, and I wasn't even in the room while I was digitizing. I would go in and check on it to see when it was over. And I would see like a little bit of myself, hear a little bit of myself. And it was like, wow, I had no idea.
How do you feel when you watch yourself at that age? How do you feel about that person that you see? Do you feel nurturing?
It's different than I expected. And I don't feel nurturing.
Do you feel a sense of pride at where you are today?
I haven't gotten to that point. I will say that it's pretty cringy for me because it takes me back to a place of remembering when, you know, I had a pretty good deal of arrogance about how funny I was, how talented I was. And I think probably a lot of that was fear and insecurity, you know. But I do remember, like, I remember the feeling of I was convinced, like,
I think,
you know,
honestly, I think that can serve you as a performer when you're in a raw, young, novice place.
Yeah.
Accessing a bravado that maybe is covering for lack of wisdom or experience is a survival skill.
Well, here's the thing about, I totally agree. And the thing about comedy specifically is that there's a certain amount of self-delusion that you have to have when you were starting out.
I can only imagine.
That you have to have it, because if you actually knew how not funny you were, you
or
would
just
stop.
examine the act of getting up on stage alone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's such a courageous thing to pursue. I mean, I just think stand-up, I've always loved stand-up. Like, I'm kind of like a stand-up fan, but I just find it, I can't even imagine the art of it. Like, I would never be able to get up on stage alone and just be myself and say, hey, this is how I see the world, and my point of view is pretty funny. And it's also universal.
Mm-hmm.
That takes a lot of
well, I agree and I disagree.
A lot of override.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
It does take a lot of override, because it's for people that do it. It's a thing that you need to do. And
Yes.
you're never thinking about it in those terms, in
Thank
terms
God.
of, of courage, or
I would hate life without stand-up comedy. I mean, seriously. I love stand-up comedy. I hope it never goes out of style.
I don't think that it will.
You don't? Because it definitely goes through periods of
Absolutely.
of fashion, right?
Yes.
I mean,
well, yes, it's boom and bust for sure. And when I started back in 1986, when I started going to open mics, it was definitely a boom was happening, and comedy clubs were springing up all over the place, and there were like one-nighter rooms and bars and everywhere, And so it was a great time to get started, because there were a lot of stages where you could get stage time.
yeah. And a community. I mean, the community must have been huge if that was the case.
It was pretty, I mean, the working people, it was a smaller community, but there were also people that would come in regularly from New York and other places that you would see a lot. You'd get to know them. But the larger community, there were a lot of people that were open micer, like perennial open micers and stuff like that, And then the bottom dropped out of that particular boom by the mid 90s, early 90s. And then I had to go back to a day job, and then I moved out here. But,
and then the alternative comedy scene.
Yeah.
Just like, that's when I moved out here, was when alternative comedy was becoming like all the rage.
Yeah. And that was the rise of another boom.
Yeah. That boom was like awesome.
Yeah. And now I don't know where things are.
Yeah, what is it now? What is the comedy trend now?
I feel like now things are very divided between the thing that makes the most noise and gets the most attention, I think, is like these sort of people that have specials titled like Triggered and stuff like that. Censored, unwatchable.
If you do another special, I think you should call it Unwatchable. Please watch it Unwatchable.
But yeah, there's like people that are just doing comedy, and then there's people that are, this crowd that's all about, anti-PC, and you can't say anything anymore, and that's what's all over Netflix, is all those specials.
Right.
You can go, and I think there's a section of like that's called offensive comedy or something.
Really?
Yeah, on Netflix. It's something. It's worded something like that.
Pulling that one up.
Yeah, we should take a look. But it's all the things are like, you can't cancel me, like shit like that.
Like in your face, kind of like.
Yeah. And it's all the same stuff. But
right now, comedy is not really existing, right? Because the clubs are closed.
The clubs are closed, but people are there's parking lot shows. There are.
Well, yeah, Dave Chappelle had those
shows.
Dave Chappelle had the farm shows or whatever.
He had outdoor shows.
Because I watched the YouTube. Did you watch his YouTube?
We watched it together.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, you were here?
Thanks.
There were times I had to kind of like pretend.
So much you love stand-up comedy. It's like you had to put me in soft focus in the side. So it's just a blip.
There's
in your
nothing better though than watching it live. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Specials can be great, and thank God they exist, because then we can access our favorite comedians and find out who we like. Yeah. But when you're like, able to see someone on a stage in the room with them, that's just like, that's lightning in a bottle. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I love it.
It can be truly transcendent. you know, and I love those nights. And I'm glad that I eventually got to a point where I feel good about my comedy, you know. And honestly, when I think about when I got really good at it, when I felt like this is me and I'm finally who I am, it's Laboring Under Delusions.
Really? It wasn't your HBO, like the drinking?
Driven it? No, that was like a play that I was trying to do.
I know, but I loved it.
But it's not the same as a stand-up show. Like I felt like Laboring Under Delusions, I got good at that was when I became who I am.
You found your comedy voice. Like you found this is my stand-up voice.
Just in time to pretty much hit a wall.
The thing about your comedy is, even though your specials are amazing, you're so much better live because you get to...
I mean, folks, you have to enjoy the live experience.
The live experience is not what they're like, oh, it has to be this amount of time and this bit goes here and this bit goes there or whatever. Yeah. When you're live, you're like off the rails, man.
Yeah.
You're off the rails.
I'm off the rails. Nobody can keep me on those rails. But watching those old tapes, I expected to kind of laugh at myself. Do you know what I mean?
What do you think your new stand-up, if you go out,
honey,
it's going to be like
I don't know.
Pandemic material?
Yeah, exclusively. Just a solid 90 minutes of pandemic material.
How I didn't think I'd ever wear regular pants
and I'm
again.
probably going to have to work on it for a year, 2 years. So definitely 5 years from now, people are going to be loving my 90 minutes of pandemic material. Did we all think
that we were just going to be seeing each other on Zoom forever or what? No, I'm just saying, you thought you'd laugh at yourself, but you couldn't laugh at yourself.
No, I thought it would really be funny to see myself that long ago. I mean, we're talking decades, you know what I mean? And it was different. Like seeing high school shows, because I digitized my high school musicals.
Yeah.
That's a different thing.
Right.
That was also a surprise because in my mind, I was a better actor than I was. And then I was like, my acting style has not changed that much since high school.
That's not true. That's not true.
But that was, of course, but also, I don't know. I'm in a weird emotional place where I didn't enjoy seeing that as much as I thought that I would. It gave me negative feelings instead of positive feelings.
You were expecting a sense of nostalgia?
Not a sense of nostalgia, but I thought, wow, I've lived this life and I've come all this way, and it'll be funny and cute to see my younger self. And it wasn't. I think that what it was I saw in those younger images of myself, it took me back to remembering all the shit that I did wrong when I was those ages. The dumb kid shit that you do, feelings that I'd hurt and
sure.
Mistakes that I'd made and stuff like that. And it kind of sucked because I wanted to have a laugh. You know what I mean?
I think for you,
but look, it's also where I am right now is I'm in a state of clinical depression.
You're in a bad place.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that this is just a fact. You're just you're in a rough place.
Yeah.
I think for you, your assignment is to learn to love that Paul.
Honey.
Look at that Paul. And be like, I love him.
You think I haven't been given that assignment before?
He's so stupid and makes so many mistakes. And if he didn't make all of those mistakes, he would not have made this Paul right here that knows better.
Do you know what I will tell us?
And you can thank him and honor him.
I know. Look.
And put a piece of chocolate at his feet or a flower at his feet.
The fuck? I'm not doing that.
Okay, don't go there. That's why I'm not there.
Sometimes I am able to do that, but it is difficult.
I mean, I get that. I think if I saw some old videos of myself, it would be kind of cringy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, what would make me sad would be like, oh God, I'll never be that skinny again.
My favorite thing is to look at old video and say, oh, that's when I thought I was fat.
Or like, Jesus Christ, I didn't have a wrinkle and I thought I was like an old fucking hag, man. You know, and I didn't enjoy that shit when I had it, you know.
I know. How can you? You know, I didn't realize I would like, I looked at myself in these high school shows and I was like, I was very attractive. Like I was kind of hot.
I think
and I had no idea.
When we're 18, right?
Yeah.
When you're 18, you're kind of hot.
It is true. Everyone in those videos is like beautiful.
I remember
love them
when
all.
I was a senior in high school. This is going to sound weird, but it's true. When I was a senior in high school, I was at a girls' school for that time. And
Ashley Hall, where girls are champions.
where girls are champions. And I looked around at all of my classmates and I was just like, God, they're so beautiful. I just remember thinking like, this is a time when people exude an inner beauty. Mm-hmm. Like it's that cusp of like childhood to adulthood. Like you have one foot and there's a lot of
not a girl, not yet a woman.
So gross.
Leave Brittany alone.
Because it's gross. Like who?
Leave Brittany alone.
Oh, Brittany.
Yes.
Oh, was that one? That was a Neil Diamond song.
That was one of what? Neil Diamond had a song called
"You'll Be a Woman."
Right, but
soon.
That's slightly different. That's slightly different than "Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman." Girl, you'll be a woman soon.
What's
It's
"Not a Girl,
creepy.
Not Yet a Woman"? Is it a Britney song?
It's a Britney song, yeah.
How's it go?
I'm not a girl, not yet a woman. I'm Britney Spears, Esquire.
That's a terrible song.
I know. It's weird that it was
It's
a hit.
not a real song.
It is a real song, but I don't know how it goes. You know what? I don't know if it's a song. It might be the title of an album.
Okay,
But I'm not
there we
sure.
go.
And listen, if you want to tell us, don't. We've already looked it up.
Guess what, guys? We have Google.
That's right. We remembered you're out there.
We have Google, and we use it. I'm a prolific Googler. Prolific.
What a brag. Let me tell you something. I look up a lot of things.
I look up everything. Okay? I just do. It's just part of my DNA.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to say.
Okay. Statement made.
That's all.
Chew on that.
So we saw a friend this week. We had the Biden interview.
We watched Godspell the other day.
Well, you kind of watched it.
Yes. This is a movie. Godspell was an off-Broadway musical that was made into a movie, which is very rare.
You like to play the music, and I was familiar with the music.
Yes. Music is great. I had not seen this movie since I was a child, and I had to watch it for a podcast that I will be appearing on soon.
Oh, good.
We recorded it. It hasn't come out yet, but it'll come out, I think, in a couple weeks. But
Title the podcast.
Okay. I don't know if I was supposed to be quiet about it, but I think it's fine. It's fine. I'll blow it up.
I thought you were on it in order to not be quiet. Like they wanted the Paul F. Tompkins bump.
I don't, but it's a couple weeks from now, so I don't know what we didn't discuss it. But it's called Good Christian Fun. And it's a really wonderful podcast. It's hosted by these two Kevin T. Porter and Caroline Eli. Caroline, I'm sorry. But it's a great show, and they are people with religious backgrounds and a religious present who host this podcast where they talk about Christian entertainment. And it's not super serious. It's not evangelical. They're not trying to convert anybody, and they're not trying to trash talk the church. It is just about Christian entertainment.
They should have my friend from college, Marty Simpson, on the podcast, who is a Christian comedian.
Right. I think he would be more the type of thing they would discuss.
Oh. He loves talking.
It's irreverent.
Oh, okay.
It's irreverent, yes.
Well, speaking of Christians.
Well, wait, we were talking about Godspell.
Oh, yeah, Godspell.
Before we get into the
Christians,
the larger subject of Christians, let's get micro before we get macro. So I had not seen this movie since I was a little child, and it was on TV. So I might have been 7 years old.
Okay. That's pretty little.
Yeah. But it made a huge impact on me, a huge subconscious impact on me, because when I was watching it, I felt like I'd seen this movie 100 times.
So like you hadn't seen it since you were 7.
Yes.
You watched it yesterday.
Yeah.
And then yesterday it was as if you had it memorized. Like you knew.
I felt like I was a split second behind everything.
Yes.
Like there were like facial expressions that were familiar to me. There were like, I couldn't tell you the movie goes from here to here to here to here to here, but the people, the performers in this movie, I absolutely memorized everything. Like as a child, memorized everything.
Like you were hypnotized by the movie.
Yes,
as a child.
Absolutely. And what I did not realize was that I was the target audience as a child, because the way this movie is done, it's very like. It's like children's theater. It's very much like a kid's movie. Like the performances and everything. Everyone's great. All the performers are great. Yes, but it really is like, oh, this is for kids.
Right.
Kind of.
Right.
Like the songs are for grown-ups and everything else is for kids.
Like they're face painting and using puppets.
Literally. Yes. Yeah.
So I saw the movie as an older child.
Yes.
Like I was shown it either at Catholic school or CYO or something. Oh, you got your water. CYO or something. And I think I was like too old for it because.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, like because I was like, what the fuck is that shit?
Yeah.
You know, what's this cult?
I could see if you were in, how old were you?
I don't know. I just know I saw it as an older child.
It's definitely like past a point where you would see it as a kid and you would think this is corny as hell.
Yeah.
You know.
Like I'm like,
and it's also it's very 70s.
This isn't Duran Duran.
Yeah. It's
like it's not. That's all I was into. You know what I mean?
When will Duran Duran make an album for Christ?
It wasn't like the Thriller album. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But I love the music. I think the music is great.
Yeah.
I don't care about the rest of the.
Which I totally understand.
But I did enjoy the New York of it all. And then when they got to the Trade Center, I was like, that's. I know. I was like, imagine them like shooting at the Twin Towers, and it's like they have no idea.
Yeah.
They have no idea 2001 is going to be what it is. I mean,
the way the movie.
It's so weird to think about that stuff.
The way the movie works is that they shoot in essentially an empty New York City. So they go to all these places and it's just the cast and no one else around. And they accomplish this like they're in various ways, and it's very clever and it's very well done. And I think it's worth seeing as a sort of curiosity,
a study of a New York film.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely a New York film.
It is a New York film for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then, so you watched that. You did the podcast. I watched Biden Address the Nation. We did watch, I mostly watched the Harry and Meghan.
That's right.
Interview with Oprah.
That's right. I watched it for a while, and then I felt like, I think I watched it for an hour, and then I was like, an hour is good for me.
But the first hour was like mostly Meghan.
Yeah.
And she talks more than Harry. Harry's a little like.
It sounds like you're proving my point.
I
saw Archie's chick in.
Archie's chick in. What I just don't understand is like the royal family, all they need to do is hire a better publicist.
I don't think that's all they need to do.
But honestly, think about like the culture as it stands today and image.
Back to the culture. I like this. Take it a full circle.
And image and everything. And like their image managers are like, are not good.
Right.
They're not good.
Right.
They're not figuring it out.
Here's the thing. And I think what their deal is, from everything I've read about it, I think it really is like The Crown, where the idea is this institution remains unchanged. That's what makes it what it is. It's like, because it's also mixed up with religion, which is like when religions, like if Catholicism ever makes a change, people are always up in arms about it because it's like, no, this is not, now it's something else. This is the thing that makes this what it is all these rules and regulations.
Right.
And if you change them, then it's not this thing anymore. And I think that's the way the monarchy views itself, is like, you know, we're not going to, like, the queen is not going to go on TV and say, you know what, I think it sucks that Meghan was treated this way. I personally like her. I think she's great. And I'm going to talk to my racist family. Instead,
I know, but what does that have to do with preserving religion or anything? Because, like, she could say that. She could say
whatever the fuck she wants. Who cares? Who cares?
Also, by the way,
we're still pretending that God made her the queen. This is ridiculous.
Also, by the way, okay, so fine. You want to have royals. Fine. You want to have royals. Fine. But, like, why? Like, they didn't have to treat Meghan and Harry like that.
No, but
they didn't.
But they're mired.
They just didn't.
They're mired in this fucking ridiculous tradition that is upheld just for the sake of tradition, just for the sake of what it is. And it's like, they're not real people. You know what I mean? They're not like real people.
Right.
They're these weird figures.
So the tradition is to be racist toward your new relative that is a mixed race person.
Yes.
I think that sucks.
I agree.
I also think that, like, that's the one thing they can change.
For sure.
Like, if they're like, okay, we're religious, we don't comment on this or that, fine. Mm-hmm. That can stay the same.
Yeah.
But if they're like, oh, we live in a world where it's absolutely disgusting to be racist, like that, you know, like maybe back in the day at the beginning of the royal whatever, they, you know, sacrificed goats or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's something that probably changed along the way.
I would say a few things since goat sacrificing days probably changed.
I just made that up. They didn't sacrifice goats. I don't know what they did. I don't know what they did because the thing has been around for how many hundreds of years?
They conquered the world.
But I'm saying there were things that were archaic. Like, they did beheadings, right?
Yes.
That's my point. If they can move past beheadings.
Yeah.
If they can move past beheadings.
Yeah.
They can move past racism.
Oh, look. They have the church that they have now, they have because of Henry VIII, who wanted to get divorced and couldn't get divorced. And he was like, I want, and God, I hope I'm remembering this correctly from history, but the Church of England started because he wanted a male heir.
He
and
broke
so
from the Catholics.
He broke from the Catholics. And so the Church of England was formed with the king being the head of the church. Mm-hmm. And so they can do whatever they want.
All they need is someone like Henry VIII that's like, I don't want it to be this way anymore.
All they need is a weird, murderous monster.
That's what I'm saying. If they had somebody, like, you think that Henry VIII, if he were the one around in 2021, and everyone was like, you're stupid and you're racist and you treat your own fucking family like shit, and you're a piece of garbage, we're spitting on you. Oprah's mouth is dropping on the goddamn floor listening to your shit.
Right.
You think Henry VIII wouldn't be like, I'm going to change it to be this because I don't want to be a dick.
Right.
I mean, I want to be a dick, but I don't want to be a dick in the eyes of the world. Like, so if some guy can change it back then to make it what he wants, then why can't some woman in today make it what the fuck she wants?
She could, but I mean...
Also, she's like, what, 90 or whatever, but
yes. I think it's just that they want to preserve this thing. They could make it that, you know, people are less racist within the confines of that crazy thing, but they're not. They're just so insulated. They're not real people.
Also, it's like the whole thing is like, oh, they're royals, and it's like, oh, they're royal this or royal that. All I had to be like is like, this is the royal therapist. We're bringing you Meghan.
Never.
here's the royal therapist.
They'll never do that.
They just like deem someone that, and they put them on the fucking staff.
Yeah.
And they only have the one patient, or they only have the patients that are in the royal family or whatever, because they're on some fucking staff and they make enough money to be like a visiting professor.
Right.
Or something.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
I'm just saying, like, they could have done it.
They could have. But of course, they could have done a million things to improve the world, at least their little corner of it, and they haven't done that. You know,
it's just so stupid because, like,
it's wild.
It's so stupid because, like, Meghan Markle, when, like, I got up early, I'm sorry, but I did, to watch I'm not even like a royal fanatic, but maybe I am. Okay, fine. I watched The Crown, whatever. Like, I got up early to watch it, and, like, it felt like progress to me that he was marrying this mixed race person that was progressive, and, you know, she had a career, and it felt like progress. Like, it felt like this is the modern.
That's the thing, though. It felt like progress for those people when it should be an entirely unremarkable thing. But it feels like progress precisely because
for the
they are mired in this. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Here's what I'm more interested in, honestly, and I wish I brought it up earlier because I know because you're about to cut me off. The podcast. You keep looking at the button.
Yeah, we're getting ready to wind it up.
Okay. This will be one of my recommendations.
Okay, sounds good.
Please Google the Vanity Fair profile of Armie Hammer.
Oh yeah. I haven't read it yet.
Because I would much rather talk about the Hammer family than the royal family. Will you read it before next? And then
I will.
We'll talk.
I promise.
That'll
be my homework. Absolutely.
Because holy shit, y'all. You think Succession is something?
You think Succession is something?
You think the Gettys? You think the Gettys were
How
like
dare you.
something?
You think
that whatever?
Get that trash out of here.
You got to read the Hammer stuff because that shit is bananas. Bananas. So
that's your rec is the Vanity Fair.
And honestly, okay, like Armie Hammer, like his whole thing with like his kinky, you know, I want to eat your body or whatever as a dinner. Like his whole thing, like
I want to eat you like an animal.
That is like, I think there's something to generational trauma. I think there's something to it. I don't know the science of it. I don't know the science of it. Wait, you think there is something?
I think that I give credit to that theory. Absolutely, of generational trauma. Yeah,
but like, is generational trauma meaning like you got a DNA thing, like a fucked up DNA thing?
Yes, that trauma can be passed down genetically,
just through like science, not through like someone influencing you. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes,
is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Is that what they mean by generational trauma?
They mean that trauma is handed down. Like it's a physiological thing that is handed down.
Physiological, right?
Yes. Yeah, I believe that.
You do?
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
It is, but I think it depends on what the trauma is, and I don't know a ton about it. I know that they did it to fucking mice. Mice, you got screwed again. All right. Here's my recommendation. I'm doing a show with my Thrilling Adventure pals, and this is what prompted the digitizing of all these old tapes. We're doing a show and tell show, cocktail hour, on Saturday, March 20th, where we're all going to share weird old clips.
Very cute.
Of various weird things that we've done.
Very clever.
Yeah. So I'm trying to narrow it down to what I'm going to show. I mean, the high school stuff is very tempting.
It'll come to you for sure, I think.
It'll come to me,
because you're digitizing more. I mean, he went in the garage that I'm scared to go into. He came back with a box that was impressive.
Yeah. It's essentially 2 boxes of stuff, of VHS and CDs, or DVDs, I should say.
Uh-huh.
And I've finished 1 box full. And so I'm on the second box. But it's a lot of stuff.
So Saturday the 20th, and where can people find tickets for that?
Go to paulftompkins.com/live.
Okay.
Yeah.
And don't you have something with Lauren coming up? Oh, no, that's
not
in
till April. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. But Lauren Lapkus and I do an improv show the first Monday of every month. So the next one's April 5th.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Anything else you would like to recommend outside of your own plugs?
No, not that I can think of.
Okay, well, I want everyone to read the Armie Hammer.
Yes, noted.
I'm also, y'all. I'm on a rabbit hole with that Alan V. Farrow stuff.
Yeah.
I just discovered they are doing a companion podcast. Also,
you love a companion podcast.
I've been listening to that companion podcast. Also, who was the girlfriend? Christine Evers?
Don't say Christine Ebersole. It was not her.
Who is it?
I can't remember her last name, but
that was her name.
No, that's an entirely different person.
Who is that?
Christine Ebersole is like a famous Broadway personality.
That wasn't the... Okay, whatever. Might have to read her memoir because I read this whole long article about her. I want to say it came out in 2018, where she's talking about some things that are very informative, shall we say, about a certain person's personality.
Yeah, let's leave it at that. Blind item. All right. Thank you for listening, everybody. We love you.
Oh, wait. We have one more recommendation.
What is it?
We finished The Investigation on HBO.
That's true. The Investigation on HBO. It is a Danish show.
With some of our friends from Borgen.
That's right. One of our first loves, Borgen.
It's a dramatized miniseries about a true crime that happened back in 2018.
Yes.
And it's all about their investigation because it was a very complicated... I cannot believe, now that I know the story, that they solved this crime.
It's amazing, yeah. And the way they go about it. And I saw people online that were watching it posting about it, like, this show, like, nothing happens, but it's really riveting. And it's like, no, it's not that nothing happens. It's that
they're thinking
a lot. The pace of it is like their challenge. Yes. We're not going to spoil it for you, but watch it. It is subtitled, but The Investigation, I think we watched it on HBO Max.
It's on HBO Regular, but HBO Max is HBO Regular now, right?
Yeah.
Who knows?
If it's on HBO Regular, it's on HBO Max.
The streaming wars. There's another war for you.
Oh, it's coming up. R.I.P. Quibi. All right. Thank you for listening. We love you. We're stayfhomekins at Twitter and Instagram, stayfhomekins at gmail.com. And we will be back next week.
Keep hope alive.
Keep hope alive.
Keep hope alive. It's happening.
We'll see you next week. Until then, stay safe, stay sane, and stay home.